Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Today, I want to talk about character. This was brought home to me in the last couple of weeks by a couple of YouTubers, believe it or not. And I think I've mentioned on here before, there's 4, 5, 6 people that I watch concerning finance on YouTube. And they all have their certain things. You know, there's certain investments they make, the things they specialize in, their formats, blah, blah, blah. But I do watch them. One of them is Meet Kevin, and the other one is Jeremy from Financial Education. I like both these guys. And I will say up front, well, I'll save that till the end. Now, I want to make it clear, this is not about money, but money is going to be what we're talking about. The Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. It does not say money is evil. Most people don't know that. But this is not about the money. But in order to get to the character, we're going to have to talk about Meet Kevin and his relationship with money. Now, I should tell you that the last time I heard, his total worth is around $50 million. And he had in the ballpark of 25 to 30 million in the market. He's a very wealthy guy. Okay? Now, what he does with his money is his business. I have no issues at all with that. But if you don't know about Meet Kevin is known for a couple of things. Number one, he's very smart about the market. Number two, he is a constant teacher of buy the dip. And buy the dip means when the market goes down, you buy. That way you're buying in at cheaper prices than everybody else is. So when the market goes down, you buy. When it goes up to a certain point and you think the run is done, then you sell. And that's the name of the game, is making money. That's a great idea. But remember that he's known for buy the dip. And he says that almost every program. He does 3 or 4 programs a year. Now, I just learned that in around 2020, he only had a couple $100,000 in the market. Okay, and he now has 25 to 30 million. So obviously, he knows what he's doing. All right. So this has nothing to do with his brains. He also did a lot of videos in the last 4, 5, 6 months talking about Papa Powell. Kept from the government, kept saying, we're not going to let inflation get out of hand. We're going to continue the printing of the money and the buying of the treasuries. We're going to keep... We won't let, so Meet Kevin comes on and he starts preaching. Well, if they've got our back, then we may as well just go all in. Because as long as inflation is under control, the market's great. Now, he'd been teaching that for 3 or 4 months. And then he was preaching on buy the dip, almost on a daily basis, beating the drum, buy the dip, buy the dip. Then he came in a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks, and said he was all in. He was all in. He had some reserves in case, but for the most part, he was all in the market. Now, the market started falling in the 1st of November, and I did a video about that. And I did exactly what those guys said. Stay with your stocks. Don't sell on the way down. Just hold on. The ride will be bumpy, but hold on, and if you have cash, buy on the way down. So I did. 2 or 3 weeks later, no, it wasn't that soon. So that would have been, we knew the drop was coming the end of November. We knew it was, well, most of us knew it was here. The S&P 500 wasn't telling that story. The S&P 500 said the market wasn't that bad. So most people were still in, most people were still calling it tax loss harvesting, a little worried about inflation, blah, blah, blah. They were making excuses. So end of December comes, when tax loss harvesting should be over and the market should turn, and it doesn't turn. Again, I did a video telling everybody that that was not going to happen. I didn't think, because tax loss harvesting doesn't look like that. These guys are young and they don't know that. I did. I've seen this before. So about a week or two into January, all of a sudden, he cashes completely out of the market. And he takes $20 million out. That tells me he lost somewhere between $5 and $10 million. Which, okay, if you're going to be in the market, that stuff's going to happen. But instead of buying the dip, as I've made perfectly clear, he's very wealthy. Instead of buying the dip, he cashes out and runs like a dog with a tail between his legs because he lost $5 million. And then he comes on and tells his followers what he did. Now, up to this point, I have no issues at all with what Kevin did. I thought it showed a little bit of poor character in running like a scared little dog and then coming on and telling his followers what he did. That I have a little bit of problem with. The thing I really have a problem with is that when he came on to talk to his subscribers and tell them what he did, he had attitude. And not only did he have attitude, but when he was talking to his subscribers on his video, he said it not once, but twice. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, well, if you expect me to tell you every single time I fart, okay, he was making a rude comment to his followers because of an action that he took. Now, excuse me, but $20 million is more than a fart, okay? The amount of trouble that he had to go through, the amount of time it took to sell out of $20 million in stocks, that was a little bit more than a fart, okay? And you disrespected your followers for that. Now here's the character part. He thinks that the followers and subscribers were upset about the money and him not telling them about it before it happened. That's not the issue. And here's what I was going to say at the beginning, but now I'm going to say it. It's obvious to me that this guy is not saved. He loves money. He thinks the world revolves around money. He thinks everybody's upset because he got his $20 million out and they didn't. That has nothing to do with it, at least in my mind. And we're going to get to Jeremy in just a minute. It has to do with the way you treated people and your attitude and your relationship with money. It's obvious that your money is more important than your followers. And here's a question that I'd like to ask him. Out of that $55 million total, how much of that income comes from Facebook or YouTube? I know that Stephan does one show a day, and last year from YouTube he made about $5 million, just from YouTube. Meet Kevin does a minimum of 3 and usually 4 or 5 videos a day. So my guess is he's made probably $10, $15 million just from YouTube. That's a good percentage of your total net worth. And you owe that to your subscribers. And yet you tell them that $20 million movement in the market from you equals a fart? Okay. You've shown your colors. You've shown your character. And no matter what you say, no matter what anybody else says, I'm done with Meet Kevin. I have dropped him. I unsubscribed him. And I also told Millennial Money, which is another program that he's on, that I subscribe to, and I love that show. But I wrote them in their message and said, either get rid of Kevin or I'm not coming back. I've unsubscribed to them also. Because people of poor character that gather together rub off on each other. It's like a saying I've used many times on here. If you want to be a millionaire, hang out with other millionaires. Now the saying goes, let's see, if you hang out with 6 millionaires, you will become the 7th. If you hang out with 6 felons, you will soon become the 7th. So your company matters. And if the other people that I like are going to side with Kevin over their subscribers, I'm done. Now, let's get to Jeremy. Well, first, let's talk about Stephan and Andrew Jick. These are the other 2 guys that I like. I saw Stephan do his take on this, and I know exactly what he was doing. He doesn't want to offend anybody. He doesn't want to rock the boat with his friendship with Meet Kevin, and he's trying to stay neutral in the whole thing while at the same time not ignoring that it's an issue. He did the tap dance, he said the words, but he didn't address the issue. He's not saved either, by the way, and I can tell because he thinks it's about the money also. Has nothing to do with money. Andrew Jick, as far as I know, has not even brought it up. He's not getting in the middle of it. He's not doing anything. Jeremy, the day or 2 after this all hit the fan, Jeremy comes out and puts his finger right on the problem. And he said exactly what I have thought all along. Now, he did not come out and call Meet Kevin a gambler, but he let it be known that Meet Kevin is no investor. He's a gambler. He's a smart gambler, but he's a gambler. And he has an issue with the love of money. Not Jeremy, but Meet Kevin. Jeremy understands that the issue is your reputation and your word. And Meet Kevin lost both. Now, he'll keep his $20 million. He lost 5 of it. So he lost $5 million. He lost at least me as a subscriber, and I'm a nobody. But I'm sure there's other Christians out there that caught the same thing. There's other people up there that he is upset because he left them high and dry worrying about his money and not giving 2 craps about theirs. Especially the ones that subscribe to his pay for class that's supposed to get all the inside information. They didn't get it before he did it. They got it after he did it, and then the subscribers got it after they got it. But he got his money out first. Then he told them, then he told the subscribers, and then he badmouthed the subscribers because he didn't like being called out. He thought he was being called out because of his handling of the money. I don't care about your money. If you want to take it and burn it, that's fine. If you want to pull it out, that's fine. If you want to go all in, that's fine. I don't care what you do with it. But your character shows when you preach one thing, and then when the chips are down, the going gets rough, the money starts to vanish, all of a sudden you're running scared. You're grabbing all your money and you're running. You're not practicing what you're preaching. Now, the reason I'm not going to unsubscribe to Graham at this point is because he did say he's going to continue doing what he's been preaching all along. He's just going to keep dollar cost averaging. And in this market, when you're down 7 figures, you get props from me. You are practicing what you're preaching, and your credibility went up with me. Now, he may lose money in the short term, but in the long term, he'll make another $5 million this year on YouTube. Meet Kevin? I'm not so sure how much he's going to make this year. I hope it's nothing. Not because I have anything against him, but it's the love of money that is the root of all evil. And he loves his money. So that's why I called this Meet Kevin Gets Dropped, Jeremy Gets Props.